If you ever suffer a serious accidental injury, you'll need an attorney in the complicated field of personal injury litigation. Mark T. Freeley, a resident of Long Island's North Shore, is that attorney. Mark Freeley has practiced personal injury litigation for over 20 years and is the managing partner of a prestigious Long Island personal injury law firm. Mark and his firm have successfully won thousands of accident and injury claims for their clients. Mark T. Freeley, Long Island's North Shore injury lawyer. The experience you need, the results you deserve.
Hi, I'm Mark Freeley, the North Shore injury lawyer. People think that when they get into a car accident, if they get seriously injured, that they can automatically recover as much money as their claim is worth. And the sad truth is that's not true. Regardless of how horribly injured you are, you can only recover how much insurance there is. So if the person that hits you has a small policy, most of the time you're going to be limited to whatever that policy is. And in New York State, the mandatory minimum amount, policy limit wise, is $25,000, which means that the person that hits you, if they have $25,000 of insurance, that's likely all you're going to be able to recover no matter how badly you're injured. The only way to protect yourself from that is that if you purchase on your own insurance policy, uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. And I'm going to tell you that it's the most important insurance to have because the worst drivers have the least insurance. And you're more likely now more than ever to be struck by someone that has no insurance at all. And here's how it would work. If the car that struck you had no policy, it had lapsed, they didn't pay their premium, or if it was a stolen vehicle, we would look to see what type of uninsured motorist coverage you had. We first have to look at the liability limits, and then we're going to look at the uninsured, underinsured motorist limits. When we're dealing with a stolen vehicle, an uninsured vehicle, we look strictly at your uninsured motorist limits, and we see. By law, you have to have $25,000, but you can increase that. And so if the person that strikes you has no insurance and you have horrible injuries, we put an uninsured motorist claim directly into your car insurance company, and we're able to recover the amount of benefit that you have under your policy. And the same is true if the car that strikes you has a small policy. Let's say, for instance, the car that strikes you has the mandatory minimum in New York, $25,000. Then we have to do a little bit of different analysis. We first have to look to see what your liability limits are, because to be underinsured, your liability limits have to be greater than the liability limits of the person that hit you. So if the vehicle that struck you only has a $25,000 policy and you have $100,000 of underinsured motorist benefits, we can recover the $25,000 from the car that hit you and up to another $75,000 from your own policy, which would make a total of $100,000. There's an offset under your policy for the amount that you recover from the offending vehicle. So this is a great way to cover you in case the person that hit you doesn't have enough insurance to cover you for your injuries. So it's really important because more and more today, because of the cost of insurance, and especially the assigned risk drivers are the worst drivers, their rates are the biggest, so what are they going to have? The smallest amount of insurance. And so the odds are, and when you get hit, it's going to be by someone that's got a small policy. The other good thing about uninsured, underinsured motorist is that it protects everybody in the household. And you don't need to be in your car when you're injured. So let's say that you're out walking the dog, you're riding your bicycle, and another car strikes you that has no insurance or a small policy. You don't have to worry about it. You can put a claim directly into your own insurance policy and recover the fair and adequate value of your injuries. It covers you, your family members. So I can't say enough about it. Most people don't have it, or if they do, they don't have enough. I recommend having a minimum of $250,000 of uninsured motorist. So it's really important to make the phone call and make sure that you have the coverage. And if you go on my website, I actually have a sample policy. You can print out, you can review, you can even bring it to the broker or agent and tell them, listen, this is the coverage I want.